Hey, welcome back to the channel, Celebrity ScandaLust. You guys, Diddy has been hit with 2 new charges just a month before the trial date, right? The trial was supposed to start May 5th. However, that's been pushed out by a week or two because of jury selection. And now he's got even more charges that he's facing. About a week ago, Vlad TV said that Diddy was going to get out on bail, right before the trial starts. I don't think that's going to happen. Impossible with these new indictments and superseding indictments. Diddy probably will never ever see the outside of a jail or a prison. So y'all, let's get into this story that is being reported by the Associated Press, and this is breaking news. It says federal prosecutors have added 2 charges to Diddy to his indictment, expanding on allegations that the jailed hip-hop mogul engaged in trafficking as recently as last year. I thought he was behind bars last year. Okay, anyway, a superseding indictment filed today accuses Combs of using force, fraud, and coercion to compel a woman to engage in commercial acts from at least 2021 to 2024. Well, he was arrested last year, so that's crazy. The indictment, returned by a federal grand jury in Manhattan, also alleges Combs was involved in transporting the woman, identified only as victim 2, and other people, including commercial workers, to engage in, that word during the same time frame. Y'all know we got to be careful because of YouTube. The new charges are in addition to racketeering, conspiracy, trafficking charges filed against Combs when he was arrested in September. They increased the total number of charges against him from 3 to 5. So now he's facing 5 charges in his indictment. Combs, 55, is scheduled to stand trial May 5th. He remains locked up at a federal jail in Brooklyn. A message seeking comment on the new charges was left with his representatives. Combs denies committing any crimes, of course, and has pleaded not guilty to the first set of charges, which alleged that he coerced and abused women for years with help from a network of associates and employees while silencing victims through blackmail, violence, including kidnapping, arson, and physical beatings. Whew, this man ain't never getting out. It goes on to say his arraignment on the new charges has not been scheduled. Now that's crazy because the trial is set to start just next month, so they got to have that arraignment pretty quickly. Federal prosecutors allege that the I'll Be Missing You singer and Bad Boy Records founder used his power and prestige as a music star to induce female victims, and now what we're also hearing, men as well, into drugged up, elaborate produced performances with male workers in events dubbed freak-offs. Central to this case is a March 2016 video showing Combs hitting and kicking his then-girlfriend, R&B singer Cassie, in a Los Angeles hotel hallway. Prosecutors contend the assault happened during a freak-off. Combs' lawyers argue the footage was nothing more than a glimpse into a complex but decade-long consensual relationship between the two. So yeah, you guys know that that video is a big deal because at this point it is the statute of limitation has run, so he can't necessarily be prosecuted for that. But what they're trying to say is it shows Cassie trying to escape an in-progress freak-off, which in that case would align with the charges he has. But Diddy's attorney is saying, no, it wasn't a freak-off happening. They were just having one of their domestic disputes that they typically had. So that's why that video is so important. And we know that Diddy's team was trying to get that evidence. Like, they don't want that to be seen by the jurors. But at this point, it looks like even if the judge excludes it, I think so many people have seen it. At this point, it's kind of moot. People have seen that video. Combs' lawyers contend the case should never have been brought and are fighting to dismiss a charge involving allegations he transported a male across state lines. The government has concocted, and I think the male that they're referring to possibly could be Little Rod, but we'll have to see. The government has concocted a criminal case based primarily on allegations that Mr. Combs and 2 of his longtime girlfriends sometimes brought in a third party, a male escort, into their relationship. Combs' lawyer Alexandra A.E. Shapiro wrote in a February court filing. Each of these 3 counts in the case are premised on the history that this type of activity is a federal crime. So she's just saying that it's okay that if it's consenting adults, then they can bring whomever they want into the bedroom. That's what his team is trying to say. But the prosecuting side is saying it wasn't consensual, and you rugged these people, gave them pharmaceuticals. Friday's superseding indictment is the second filed in Combs' case. In the first in January, federal prosecutors disclosed that their case involved at least 3 women whom they said Combs forced to engage in commercial acts. In exchange, prosecutors said he provided them with money, career opportunities, and payment of rent and housing expenses. And it's interesting because a lot of people thought Young Miami would be one of the women that was going to be named in this case, but at this point we haven't heard anything about her. It's possible that she gave testimony or was a witness to keep her whatever, but so that's interesting. She doesn't seem to be one of the victims. So anyway, y'all, we'll stay on top of this, but this just tells me Diddy has such an uphill battle. I think Anthony Rico was really, I believe before he quit the case, he was trying to convince Diddy to go ahead and, take a plea deal. But of course, Diddy being whom he is, he didn't want to do it. And they're also saying, which is crazy, that Diddy is planning on taking a stand and he will be testifying on his own behalf. So, oftentimes people say that that's a bad thing to do because under cross-examination, they will bury you. So Diddy is so arrogant. They say he's a narcissist. He wants to take the stand. So we shall see what's going to happen. But everybody is waiting for this trial to start. And it looks like it's not going to be May 5th at this point. That's going to be jury selection. But y'all stay tuned and we will be on top of this. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.